The events in Half-Life 2 are shaped significantly due to the actions of an individual called Gordon Freeman, a theoretical physicist who has to defend himself and humanity against all odds. He is a phenomenon, but to think it was one man who has contributed to rewriting the story would be foolish. Gordon Freeman is a miracle who pushed the limits of humanity to regain control of Earth for the people. But he was not alone in this. Every single Resistance member with the slightest of hope were just as important as the man who cleared the path. The will to live and survive, the instinct to resist against oppression, the glimmer of hope to return to how it once was, is what makes the Earth and humanity worth saving. It is what justifies the concept of freedom. Therefore, it is the core point behind the experience of Half-Life 2, as well as the run of Gordon Freeman. This is a very special video to me, because I've just hit 2,000 subscribers. Thank you all for supporting me. For this occasion, I wanted to write about a game, and you guys picked Half-Life 2. This is a special video to me for several other reasons. I wanted to appreciate the game passionately, and the Resistance in Half-Life 2 seemed like the perfect idea. It is due to the moral dynamics of the Resistance and what they stand for. A short notice. This video is not a deep calculated analysis or a lore video. It is a much-needed appreciation video related to the Resistance, so relax and enjoy. We are not perfect, not as an individual, neither on a collective sense. Humanity is improper, inefficient, and evil. We are the pioneers of murder, abuse, and corruption. Many might argue Earth would be better off without humans, and through all these imperfections, I still believe humanity should thrive to exist. Some of us are willing to learn, some of us are willing to understand, some of us prioritize our moral senses that eliminates the need of oppressive violence and force. At times, we have learned to defend ourselves and won. At times, we have united between religions and cultures. At times, we saw the beauty beyond the selfish needs one might have. In a ground full of flesh and pollution, there's still beauty in it, if a flower should grow, if a bird should whistle, if the wind should move. Even if everyone picked the side that would selfishly harm the Earth is still worth saving, for somewhere out there is a plant, there is experience and beauty. We make choices. We are individuals. Humanity has to unite against a threat to save our freedom of choice. If in any world the people of that society do not stand up against such threats and force, then there is no saving that society. We must resist to make us worth existing. That is where the Resistance justified the risks of Gordon Freeman. They made the Earth worth living for, despite the current situation of Earth, despite having surfaces filled with toxic wastes, despite having resources stolen by force, despite having little to no leaves in the trees. A resistance has its right to exist, to fight back, to overthrow the force that is unfairly taking advantage of them by force and violation of ethics. As much as we dislike violence, the justification of a resistance rebel is necessary to self-defend and to make things right again. I loved the new Superman movie. For casual viewers, this might seem generic and just another superhero film where the good, for the sake of being good, fights the evil for the sake of being evil. But the message this film is trying to tell us is substantial. Good is what Superman stands for. He risks his life. He is ready to sacrifice himself for the Earth and the people. He would save a squirrel if he could. He is the epitome of virtue. What I also liked about the film is how well the dynamics between Superman, the resistance, and the oppressive force is. Scarily relevant to a real-world event, but I don't want to get banned from YouTube, so let's put that aside. This dynamic reminds us of Half-Life 2, where Gordon Freeman represents Superman with more similarities, containing an oppressive force and a resistance. Gordon Freeman risks his life and is ready to sacrifice himself to make things right again. He is a man of virtue. Besides, the events that occurred at Black Mesa and Zen has made Gordon Freeman a popular figure. Their resistance symbol is highly likely to be Gordon Freeman holding a crowbar. The resistance looks up to him as an icon who contributed substantially to save the Earth. This very perspective is completely replicated in the Superman movie, where we see the resistance counting on Superman, even using his symbol to stand up against oppression. Our rights are constantly threatened. Humanity's extinction may not be suggested due to an extraterrestrial alien military, but we sure are killing our own kind. The powerful people who oppress and try to hide the terrible murders and injustice behind the illusion of logic are also made of flesh, just like any other human being, including the ones they oppress. They don't realize the fact that logics and political complexity never justifies putting individuals at risk, or most literally performing a genocide. The rights of civilians are constantly violated by oppressors or their own kind at times. Therefore, we must resist. There is hope. We have won before in history many times. We have won in recent years too. South Asia and many other regions has seen revolution of the young generation who were brave enough to overthrow the improper and cruel governments. It has been proven to be possible. Speak against the injustice, act against the cruelty. Unite together and fight for your safety and for experiencing the gift of Earth. It must be done. This is Andy. The resistance is justified.